Hello and welcome to the last August commentary with yours truly, Callum. That's right guys, it's me, Callum. I know, you've only heard legends and stories, but it's me. Anyways, so I'm gonna be watching the film again and talking over it. I'm sorry, I have a bit of a cold. I'm turning this down, this is too loud. Anyways, I have a cold. But anyways, so, this scene one, this was the first scene that I chronologically filmed, because I tried to shoot it as chronologically as possible, but that didn't end up happening that much, but, you know, I tried my best, guys, come on. So, I filmed this, because it was the summer, and days are way longer in the summer, I got up at, I think, 6:30, and this was filmed at about 7, and the first shot of me walking away was when I was terrified because I was just leaving my tripod out, and this shot as well, because I was terrified that people would just come up behind and take my phone and my tripod. But yeah, it went really well. It was a really calming morning, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it was tiring and it was quite hot, but I was like, I feel good about this. Now, you'll notice I am wearing a black backpack, and I'm also wearing a black backpack in the next scene. And then I have a blue backpack after that, and that is not by accident. If you're thinking that's by accident, that is not. It is an intentional character change. So this little pond, I mean, this is a local field, and I filmed Mission Improbable in this field. It's in a slightly different area, but this is the same field, and it's just a really great place to start shooting the film in. When I got home, I pretty much immediately put together the scene, and I was so proud of how it turned out. I used these clip-on lenses. You can kind of see around the edges. It's a bit blurry because I put these little clip-on lenses on my phone case, so it didn't entirely go on. And it's laziness, but it's also like, I kind of like how this looks, where the edges are kind of slightly blurred, and there's a bit of sort of a vignette around the frame. A little bit, not that much. But yeah, in this film there are just a lot of shots of nature and, you know, flowers and whatnot, because it's just, it's kind of, this film is kind of a tribute to kind of just all of these like local green spaces around my house. And this I actually got the inspiration to make this film from this like 4.5 mile walk from my house to another place, and it's 9 miles in total, because you go 4.5 miles there and 4.5 miles back. But that walk inspired me so much because I got up really early, and the first shot of the film is what informed, it's what I saw at the start of this hike, and I was like, I have to have that as the first shot of my film, because I knew I wanted to make a film over the summer, but I had no idea what I was going to do. But going on a bunch of walks with friends, I went on walks with James and Branko, and that really informed what this film was going to be about. So anyways, here's Bobby. He's in the colourful hat, which I have. I was like, you should totally wear this for this scene, and I said you should wear something colourful. I got to pitch this idea. I mean, my friends were just awesome for this film, because I would just ask them at random intervals, like just before the summer. I would be just asking them like, oh, do you want to be in this film? And they immediately be like, yeah, sure. Which was just amazing. And I was like, okay, but this film's heavy, guys. Like, I'm gonna pitch it to you first, and you see if you still want to do it. And they said yeah. So, as you can most likely tell by watching these scenes, these are all very improvised. There is no script. I didn't write a script because I find that improvisation is such a beautiful method in dialogue. Like, sometimes it doesn't always come out the way you want it, but it is so much more natural and free-flowing than written dialogue for people who are not actors. Like, trained actors are really good at what they do, and they can read every line perfectly. I'm just gonna check this is okay, it's recording. Phew. Okay, I was worried it wouldn't record. Does it say how long left okay, never mind. But actors can do their job really well, but when you're just working with your friends, and also me, I'm not an amazing actor, so working with friends, you just want to have improvised dialogue. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know if this sounds pretentious, but each of the characters in this film, except Chris at the end, each one before that represents a different approach of moving on with grief and pain and trauma. So, I mean, just saying that, it sounds a bit, yeah, but that is how I went about it. So Bobby's character is creativity, creating things to kind of shift the hurt of a loss or a traumatic event in your life. Then is who's it? James. James's character is, while he is creative, it's mainly supposed to be focused on integral, important relationships with friends and family. Yeah, basically just the idea of, reaching out to other people as a kind of support network, whether you have a full family or whether you have just people you can rely on. Next is Branko's character, who is basically just another way of dealing with your problems is pushing down all of your feelings and just completely discarding everything that will, make you feel better, because dealing with pain is hard, and pushing it down is an easier approach in the long term, but in the short term, in the long term, it's detrimental. But that's how Branko goes about it. And Owen's character it was supposed to be about learning a new skill. We did this whole bit about him riding his bike, but that got cut out because the audio was completely unusable. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I suppose it could also be, like, just listening to people and just having people there to listen. So, yeah, Bobby was amazing in this scene. We shot for a total of an hour. And, yeah, we just basically set the camera up in one place and would be rolling for like 10 minutes at a time. And the audio in this shot specifically was a total nightmare, because the camera was quite far away and the wind is kind of cutting through. I'm going to turn this down again. But the wind is cutting through and it's annoying. So I had to do a lot of editing. Also, Branko's scene, that was kind of a trouble as well. So also I tried to make it kind of a gradual ramp up from kind of like light-hearted to more serious. Like it ramps up in intensity, I'd say. I tried to portray that, and I tried to do things with colour, which I've never really tried before. Like when we did Mission Improbable, I was just trying to do different bits of colour grading to show the different filming days, but that was kind of it. But in this film I really did put a lot of thought into colour and visual imagery, and yes, it's just this film is all about being outside, and again very hippie-ish. It's just like, healing in nature is kind of a motif of the film. And I think there's only one shot in this entire film that's inside. I think that's like a flashback shot, and I think that's also the only shot with like an artificial light. I have a really good little light panel that I got. It's very cheap. It was off Amazon. And but every single other shot is obviously just natural light. Because I just tried to make this more sort of calming, laid back kind of vibe to it. I think we filmed this scene sort of. It was nearer the start of filming, but I think we'd already done Branko's scene before this. And the last thing we ever shot was mine and Chris's scene. In fact, that was mine and Chris's scene was filmed the day before we got our exam results. So that was really, I don't know, for me at least, emotions were high. Like, I felt really on edge. And yeah, so the entirety of the summer it took to shoot this. I had breaks, which was good. I had about 2 weeks of not doing anything on this film. But yeah, for a lot of the summer I was thinking about doing this film, and every time we shot a scene, I would immediately get home and edit it. I don't know, it's weird. I have this thing about editing where I can't really leave it, like, I have to start editing it either the day of or, literally the day after filming, 'cause it's the only thing that occupies my mind. I'm like, I really want to get this done, and I easily spend like 4 or 5 hours editing, and it just goes by like that. Like, it is so quick. But that's just how it goes. That is how it goes. Oh, also I think those are my sunglasses. Also one of the handles of the sunglasses, that's there, but on the other side it's missing. It snapped off when we were filming, so it's just on the grass somewhere. Surprisingly, no one came past when we were filming this. We barely had. It boggles my mind because I've filmed so many places, and most of the time people haven't come past. I mean, people have barely disturbed us when filming. Like, people are just really great. Like, there's dog walkers very often in that field, but I don't think anyone came past on this day. But even when people are, some people are, just don't say anything, but some people are really nice and understanding. In mine and James's scene, like, the first few shots are a bit quicker because people kept going past, and we just didn't want to get them on camera, obviously. It's just kind of hard to explain sometimes when you're just in the middle of nowhere, and you're just filming, and people just don't know why you're just having a conversation on camera. It's a bit strange to some people, which is understandable. So this track playing is, I made this like a year ago, or actually it must be getting on for 2 years now. I made this track, but I never used it for anything. So when I came on to do this, I was like, I really want to do an original soundtrack again. So I slowed it down, and I was like, yeah, damn. I changed the key as well, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. And we left it rolling on this shot for so long. Like, we went off so far into the distance, but yeah. And the shot here, I tried to get this exact shot again in like the last scene of this film, when it's all like browned out and sort of looks like a nuclear wasteland. And also right there where that cut just there was where the camera cut out. I think I lost space or something. I had to free up space. So this is now scene 3. So me and Branko shot this on the same day as we did scene 6 with him and our scene. Him and my scene. What? Yeah. And we filmed all of this in reverse, like, so this was the last scene, it was the last shot that we filmed on that day, and we were both so tired, because we'd walked all the way here to this field, and we went all the way out into, really far into the field to do our scene, and then we looped around this really long way back to get all these, this one really specific shot I wanted of me going into the forest, which was, ended up being kind of a bad idea because we were both so tired, because it was like, I didn't realise how far away it was, but yeah, anyways. But yeah, Branko was such a cool camera operator. He does all of these really smooth moves. I'm just really happy with how this scene turns out, and I like how at the start I'm like really far away, but then as I get closer you can actually see him wearing the blue backpack and not the black one. This shot was, I did this on a selfie stick, and I'm not happy with how shaky it is, but yeah, that's how it's so high up. It's not just because I'm really tall. I'm totally tall, guys. I'm really tall. What are you talking about? No, I am. I promise. I promise you, guys. Come on. No, but and again, just really smooth camera moves from Branko. So yeah, we got a dozen different angles of me just going up this dirt mound. And this piece that's playing, me and James hung out in like January or February, and it had just snowed, and there was really thick ice everywhere, and we just went on this long walk, and the sun was kind of setting, and we went up this hill together, and that was really fun. And then when I got back home, I made a variant of this piece, but I never found a use for it, and it kind of really stuck with me. So this piece kind of has a deep meaning to me. And this shot I wasn't going to use, I mean, I was just going to use me looking at the top, and the reason I'm running down and I'm looking over at the side because there's a dog walker coming, and you can see the dog and this ball being thrown in like the last few frames. Oh, there it is! But I was like, okay, I'll keep that, why not? And again, this is all reverse, like, this is all in reverse order, so this was before we got there. And this is like way further away, and then we walked all the way back down that path that I'm walking down, all the way to this dirt mound, and then eventually to the end, which is the first shot of this scene. But yeah, I just really specifically wanted this forest bit, because it ties into the next bit, even though it's a completely different place. Obviously a completely different day and everything, but my shirt's looking a bit creased there. That's not very good. Always iron your shirts, guys, come on. Needs to be ironing our shirts. So it's quite funny throughout the film, like, my shirt goes from creased to nicely ironed, and this is a completely different place. This shot here, okay? And then the next shot, that is another completely different place. So the shot that just was before this, I was on a walk ages ago, and I got lost in the woods, and I was quite scared, but I just liked the forest, so I got some footage, but I mean, I didn't know what to do. And again, that's the same place from before, but that's a completely different location entirely. And here we have the great maestro himself, James, and he is going away at the tickling the ivories there. Such talent has never before seen in the music sphere. Yeah, so we just set this up, and I was just like, do what you want. This James took this shot. I digitally stabilized it. You can kind of see that. But yeah, he was like, just play anything, and I was like, yeah, just do it. Alright, mate. Always with doing these, like, improvised scenes, it always takes a minute to kind of get to a place where we want to be in improv. Like, at the start, you just have to kind of keep rolling, because it's a bit awkward, and, you know, it's kind of out of place. But then there's a part where you kind of click, and I would say this part is when we click. When I'm just playing with the keyboard, and it's used as kind of a device to get us to just know each other. And same with mine and Bobby's scene. I'd say the point where we click is when we're talking about his hat, how we got it from the thrift stop, and then we start laughing and joking, and then suddenly you know, go on this riff. So yeah, I wanted the shot of these sticks just being thrown down. And also, because I knew I was gonna have this in a 4:3 aspect ratio, I tried to be really careful about the bounds of the frame. I know it's a bit weird, like why not just do it in, like, you know, the normal widescreen. I wanted to do 4:3 because it felt more intimate and more close. Like, it can be more, you know, claustrophobic, but to me it portrays more character, heartfelt moments, and because it is kind of a character study. I don't know, that's pretentious. It's a thing, guys. It's a thing. Guys, watch out for my next film. It's gonna be square. I'm gonna move my microphone up a bit. There we go. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be a square film, and then it's gonna be I'm gonna make an entire 2-hour film in a 9:16 TikTok format, and then I'm just gonna keep going until it's like 1 pixel wide, and that's gonna be a film, and it's gonna be 4 hours long. I promise you guys, I will make it happen. I'll do it. I promise you, I will do it, and no one can stop me. Okay, just saying. I have powers, and I will fulfill those powers. I don't think can you even upload a video to YouTube that's a pixel, 1 pixel wide? I don't know.
So, this band, what's it called?
It's called, Wet Towel.
Yeah, so, so this whole bit about Wet Towel, I don't know if you could tell, but he just made all of this up on the spot. Like, we knew he was going to be in a band, and I said, yeah, your character is in a band. But he just made all of this up. Like, it made me laugh so much that this was the first take we did, and we didn't do any repeats because it was great. In fact, we filmed so much usable stuff that I had to cut stuff out because the scene was just getting too long and the pacing was getting a bit too wonky. But that's why our scene is so long together, because we just had lots of meaningful conversations in this scene. And I was worried we didn't get enough because we shot an hour for Bobby's scene and that was 12 minutes. So we shot, I think, 40 minutes total footage, and I was worried that wouldn't be enough. I was like, okay, it's probably gonna be like a 5 to 10 minute scene, but ended up being 16 minutes because a lot of it was really usable. So this drum recording is performed by Sean, the great Sean. So it was just before we broke up it was just before we went off to do our exams, and I just caught him one time in music class just drumming at lunchtime, and I was like, can I record your drum stuff and use it in compositions and stuff? He was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, you have my permission to do that? And he was like, yeah. So I recorded a bunch of these like drum loops, and they were really good. And then later on, when I was doing this film, I contacted him and said, could I use the drum recordings in my film? And he was like, yeah, sure. And he's seen the film and he likes it, so woohoo. And then that drum loop is used in the last scene. I also recorded a bit of a drum thing for the scene for the motorway bridge scene, but that is like that was a different thing. It was at lunchtime again. I just asked, the classroom was empty, and I just used the drum kit, set up my phone, and just did this kind of like marching band kind of beat, and that ended up working pretty well, and I put it into this composition I was quite proud of.
Drum kit's great, but what if you
So
like,
yeah, this train as well. This train kept going past. It was really annoying because it's kind of. I wish we'd kind of acknowledged it in the scene because it just kept going past and it kind of disrupts the whole you know, being in nature vibe because it was quite near a train bridge, so the train just kept going past. But yeah, I wanted to use this kid's keyboard in the scene because I thought it'd be, like, obviously because he's a musician, but like I just thought like it's kind of something to do. It's a bit quirky. It would be just loads of funny stuff can come out of that, and it did. And what I'm playing is the central motif of the film, like of kind of Noah's character. I don't know. It's just kind of a melody that has stuck with me for I think 2 years, and I used it in like a ton of compositions for a 2-year period, but I had no idea why it stuck with me so much. But I finally found a use for it in this film, and I'm really, really glad. Also, James cut his hair back so much. I mean, he's had this like long hair in in Mission Improbable for I don't know, a year and a half. So then he got a buzz cut after exams as a kind of a celebration. He just spontaneously got a buzz cut, which I find hilarious. And Tristan showed me a video of a bunch of his friends cutting his hair with scissors and dog clippers, which is quite insane. So yeah, this is just the shot from before. It took a while to edit this because there was just a lot of stuff to use. Also, with every time we filmed, I tried to get. Well, I did get just one long shot of the character just on their own, just talking, because obviously this is a very, very different film, but I saw a film called Come and See. It's this I think it's Serbian. No, is it Serbian? Or no, Belarusian. And it's you know, it's very well known war film. It's been called one of the best war films ever, and oh my god, it's fantastic, but it is absolutely traumatizing. It's horrible, but it is truly an amazing film. But I was really inspired by, loads of things, but I really liked one thing they did where they showed just, yes, the main characters, but also just random characters. Like, there was this random army officer, but they all get this kind of portrait treatment. This kind of, I coined the term portrait shot. It just looks kind of like a painting, and I liked how each character was just given this, it's just hard to describe, but each character is just given this, like, very grand view. I don't know. I can't explain it that well, but I was just inspired by that. So I tried to do that with every single character. And my original plan for this film was gonna be another cool idea I had for the cinematography would be the camera would get closer to Noah as the film progressed. So I tried to do it with the very first shot where it's like really far away and you can't see his face and everything, but in practice that just doesn't work because you need dialogue and you need close-up character interactions, and I wish I'd invested in a lav mic for this. I did not use an external microphone, which I really wish I did, but basically a bunch of them I bought in the past were all just broken, but it would have really prevented a lot of audio problems. So yeah, but so that didn't end up going through, but I tried to keep the first and last shot of the film mostly consistent because it would be like far away. The very first shot, like, it's really far away and you can barely see his face and everything, and then the last shot, it's just his face, and and that would be the idea, like, well, the original idea would be each character gets a portrait shot once you finally know who they are, mostly. But I don't know how well that was communicated. But the idea would be that Noah gets his own portrait shot in the very last shot, because you fully know who he is. But I don't know. It fluctuates, guys. It fluctuates. It's kind of different in the final thing, but I tried. And that's what matters, guys. You know, at the end of the day, if you just try your best, and you can do it, and everything will be fine, and everything will be great. Yeah. So people did keep going past for this scene because people surprisingly live their lives, and that's just unacceptable, isn't it? You know, I'm trying to do my little YouTube thing over here, and people are living their lives walking their dogs on this hallowed earth where Cleron himself is filming. How dare they? I just can't accept that. But anyways, anger issues aside, this scene went really, really well. After we filmed, I think we walked out and we got Tesco meal deals, which was a perfect way to end the day. What have we got in the notifications? Ooh, so I'm checking my YouTube notifications there. Getting a bit distracted. I'm clearly part of this TikTok generation. I'm just so distracted, guys. Ugh! I need stimulation. Why is this film so boring? I could be doing anything. I could be doing anything right now. It's like the Markiplier clip. What am I doing with my life? I could be doing anything. Oh no! Oh my god! Sorry. So yeah, I don't like how this is slightly out of focus. This is very, very sad, guys. Because I tried to. Oh no! Every shot is done with the It's done with the back camera, so it's the bigger one on the iPhone 6s. So you can film in 4K. The front camera only does up to 720p, I think. I'm not quite sure. I think so. And also, something's gone wrong with the audio on my front camera. I don't know what it is, but the front microphone is kind of messed up. So I used the front camera for every shot. And also that's why all of the shots with dialogue don't have the lens on, because the lens also covers the little microphone right next to the camera. So you get quite bad, slightly muffled audio, which I did not want, which were, very bad. So yeah. But I'm really chuffed, gotta say. I am really chuffed with all of the positive feedback and appreciation for this film. I'm recording this on the 11th of October, and I'm just really blown away by how nice people have been about this film, because it feels like, you're taking a bit of a risk by putting this stuff out. And the day before it was put on YouTube, I held this little premiere at my house. I just set up a white sheet, and we used a projector, and we watched the whole film, and it was really tough watching it with my family, because it's just like, I don't know. Oh, by the way, this shot was such a pain to get. That was a pain, because it's a massive ditch in the middle, so we had to run all the way up this ditch and hope to God no one stole it. But yeah, that went well. But yeah, so I held this little premiere thing, and after that was the night before the film would go up on the internet, and I was, I found it really painful to watch again, because I hadn't seen it all the way through. And in fact, this is my second time watching it all the way through, because it's quite, I don't know, it's still quite raw and emotional for me, but I was having serious doubts about putting this out because it is hard to be vulnerable on the internet and anyone can criticize it, and I accept that people will probably still criticize this, and that's totally fine, that it's not a perfect film by any means. But yeah, it was just very challenging to make this because I'm tapping into a place I've never tapped into before, on the internet I mean. And you know, I like doing my comedies, so doing something like this was very different and very challenging. But I'm so happy with the results. So this scene, it was so hot when we filmed this. It was 27 degrees Celsius, which I don't know, it probably doesn't seem that hot, but that day I think it was really humid as well. It was just boiling. And my dad filmed this scene and he was great. So we did both sides of this bridge, and it was really awkward just filming this like in front of all these cars. And my dad said as all these cars drove past that he saw, you know, he just saw these drivers just looking at him like really bewildered. And we went there on our bikes, and yeah, that was just yeah, it was so hot that day, it really was. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that came out. I also used duct tape. I duct taped either side of my phone screen as a kind of a guide to show my dad where the 4:3 aspect ratio would be. But he said he could barely see it because it was so bright. Also, the phone turned off when I was on the other side of the road, where I was at the start of the scene. And then I had to like kind of do sign language to him on the other side of the road to just teach him how to like turn on the phone and swipe to get into the camera. So this scene with Branko, yes, this was I think the second scene we filmed, or the second scene I filmed chronologically. So it was challenging. It was first dialogue scene I did, and I tried to be quite particular about this character and their interactions. I tried to kind of communicate that okay, yeah, this is unhygienic, I know it's unhygienic, I know, I'm aware. Look at my fingernails, they're a bit dirty. That's not very good, is it? But I tried to make it like Branko's character takes what he needs out of the character, you know, takes the photo, takes the water, and now he has what he needs. He suddenly starts to poke into Noah's life and Noah's problems. And all of these characters are based on real people that I've met and real experiences and conversations. I mean, obviously not you know, exact things, but some exact examples. And the kind of point of the scene is as well. No, I mean, we don't know it yet, but Noah is grieving because his brother has died a year before, and he hasn't really dealt with that. But Branko's character Stefan, and also he never says his name. We forgot to get a bit where he says his name, by the way, but he's in the credits. But the point of the scene is that he misinterprets what Noah is going through. He just thinks it's like a school altercation, you know, he just thinks it's like a friendship issue, and we tried to do that the same with Chris's scene, where Chris's character, obviously he knows what happened with Noah, but he puts Noah's pain on the same level as losing a grandparent. Obviously, losing a grandparent is really painful, but it is not nearly as painful as losing a sibling. So, it's kind of a base misunderstanding of someone else's pain, and that is another motif of this film, where it's kind of about the struggle to, I don't know, get people to recognize what you're going through, and the struggle you can go through to just get people to leave you alone and understand you on the same level. And this is supposed to be a portrait shot of Branko, because we tried to do it on the tripod, but he's too tall. He's too much of a tall man. What a shame.
I'm on my run right now. I'm getting outside. It's helping.
And yeah, it's just this character has an innate need to assert himself over others and be like, oh, I'm just living my best life out here. Why aren't you living this life? Fix your posture, mate. Innit? Whoa. Way. I don't know. So, and yeah, just kind of become this life coach. And when I was conceptualizing this scene, I wanted it to be serious, and I wanted it to be like, kind of a reminder that people are supported, but also not so much. But I also wrote a track for this film. I think I put it out as well. It's called Posture, and that was supposed to be the track playing this film, and it's a very deep, low growling track, and I had that in the film up till like right at the end, until like literally one of the final exports. I took it out because I actually thought it was more funny than serious because of how Branko plays it. It's kind of a character that you laugh at and less, get upset by. So I think it's so like just the way he's like, you'd be much happier. Come on, like all of that shit on the Guardian. Just don't read it. Just don't read it, guys. Come on, just get it. So and I think not having music is better because it is kind of more of a comedic scene, and also just the way I'm like playing it and being all sort of disinterested, and he's like lecturing him like a real TED talk here, talking about how men they got up and they like
in this world, there's so much of that shit about
yes Branko, preach.
I just think you should keep in mind
but the scene isn't to say you shouldn't be manly. Obviously, like, we need to value masculine qualities, but it's just the fact that Branko's character completely disregards the mental side of things. He values physical strength too much over mental health. But I'm not trying to say in the film that physical strength isn't important and you shouldn't look after your body and whatever. Like, I'm not saying going on a run is bad or whatever. I'm just saying, be aware of your emotions and deal with your pain in a healthy way. I'm sorry, I have such a bad cold today. Sorry. But yeah, that is what that scene is about. But I think it is kind of unintentionally comedic, kind of like The Room. But I hope it's not as bad as The Room, guys. Please don't call it as bad as The Room, guys. Come on. Please, I'm not Neil Breen. I want to be Neil Breen. Goddamn. Oh, I mean, I aspire to be like Neil Breen. All of my credit sequences are like Neil Breen. Directed by Callum. Whatever. This is probably my favourite shot in the film. Like, not that one of the tree. The tree one is good, but the one just before it, because I don't know, just really happy with the colour and the composition, the foreground stuff. So I filmed this scene and also I think I filmed scene 7, this is scene 7, and scene 9, which is the one where I'm just like walking around, and also the baby bit. Oh, we'll get to that. But I filmed that like I filmed this and then I had a day of not doing anything, and then I filmed scene 9 and then I had a day of not doing anything, and I think I filmed scene 8 after that. It was like really rapid succession. It was quite intense. So I filmed this all on my own. I just went on my bike and I just rode on my bike to this place, and yeah, I just brought the tripod with me, which was quite funny. So I was just like riding along with my backpack and the tripod. Sort of a one-man team for this, and for this shot as well, I just saw this aeroplane in the sky. I was like, quickly, I need to get a shot of that. Come on. So yeah, I quickly got that. And yeah, I knew this bit had to be leading up to mine and Owen's scene together. So yeah, and this shot as well, I was terrified someone would take the camera, because I'm not looking at it, I'm just walking off into the distance. That's why sometimes it's nice to just have someone with you to just watch the camera. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, look! Feet! We love that. We love to see it. And then I've got, this was so hard to do, this shot. I'm actually really far away. And I had to, like, run. I had to actually sprint to get that. And I was, like, completely buried in, is it grain or, you know, wheat for this, but I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. Color grading took a while on this film, but I'm quite pleased with how it comes out, and I tried to make it really. So, I mean, sometimes it's quite nice and pretty looking, but sometimes I tried to make it like really oversaturated blues and greens, and just like really like burn in your screen with how saturated it is, to kind of show how, again, it's kind of it's supposed to be like the world wants you to get better and move on, and everything is like so positive and everything's happy, like but at the end of the film it's more realistic and more, you know, honest about your situation, which is why it's brown and kind of muddy looking, because it's real life. It's not a dreamy world where everything is perfect all the time. So yeah, here we have the great Owen rocking up on that incredible bike. We both rode here together on our bikes. We went to the shop beforehand, and I bought myself a Mr. Beast chocolate bar that is in the bag, and behind that tree is a Fanta, I believe. I had a Fanta and a Mr. Beast chocolate. I'd never tried Mr. Beast chocolate before. It's so overpriced in the UK. It's like £2.50 for a tiny bar, but I was like, I have to try it. It's just dark chocolate. I mean, what is there to say? It's just dark chocolate. It was really surreal just seeing this like Mr. Beast cardboard cutout in my local shop. It's just really weird. But yeah, so my bike is like way out of the way, but I was just thinking, we have to get his incredible bike in this film. I mean, look at those tires. I've seen smaller motorbike tires. I mean, my god. And also Owen has the Snoopy shirt on, which is quite cool. My mum is a big what's it called? Peanuts, like Charlie Brown. Yeah, Charlie Brown. Big Charlie Brown fan. When my mum was but a small girl, she was into doing tapestries. Like, she did a little tapestry kit of Snoopy. I think it was for school or something, but yeah, I like that he wore that. And now we have a beautiful shot where we're chowing down on my Nature Valley, getting the crumbs absolutely everywhere. I was trying to hide the logo, because I wasn't trying to make it look like I had Nature Valley, but I don't know why. Like, you're just eating Nature Valley, why are you hiding the logo? I don't know. Also, it was really bright and hot on this day. So like, because it's focused on us, the outside is so bright, it literally looks like we're in heaven. I don't know why it looks like that, but yeah.
So I just got lost by randomly trying to find my way.
Oh, and also we cut out a shot where Owen was talking about. I think I must have explained it to him properly, because there was one part where he started talking about how he's just moved in, he saved up loads of money from working for years, and I'm like, no, Owen, we're realistic ages, we're 15, 16, 17, we're not like 35. like Mission Improbable, like I don't know what the age of anyone is in Mission Improbable. That is something the fans will have to decide for themselves, because there's so many of you out there, guys. We're gonna build an army, guys. We're gonna rule the world. The Cleron fandom is unlike no other. I have so many fans. Ah! Sorry, I'm home alone. I can do these things, guys. I'm sorry if I destroyed. I'm sorry if I destroyed your ears. I just had to scream. I'm home alone, so why not?
If you're lost, then
So this, I think, this was a couple days before me and Chris did our scenes together. And I was so nervous to do this scene because it's just really hard to do this. And Owen was just amazing in this scene. Because he was just such a good listener, and he felt bad for me as I was acting, because there's a bit where I'm kind of shaking, and because I'm not acting. I would say in the whole film, I would say I'm not acting. I'm like, what I say is not the truth, but I feel the pain, if you know what I mean. Like, I actually feel everything, because I'm not a psychopath. I actually do feel emotions. And same with the kind of breakdown scene and mine and Chris's scene that get really emotionally intense. It's not acting, it's genuine pain. And I tried to sort of explain that to Owen, because he was genuinely getting worried about me. But it's because he's a good friend, and I've loads of really good friends who are actually there for me, unlike the people in this film. Tut tut tut. But this character is epic. We love to see it. I tried to become a better director as I progress making this, because I wanted to also focus on making sure my fellow actors were compensated. So I did bring snacks and stuff for most scenes, and I did pay for stuff. I was like, I don't know. And like in this, Owen taught me how to use the EpiPen, because I'm health and safety, guys, very important. And with Chris's scene, I went completely overboard. Like I overpacked so much, because it was really hot. It was, I think it was 30 or even 35 degrees Celsius, which is insane. It's like, is that sort of 120 degrees Fahrenheit? I'm not sure. It was insanely hot. And so we constantly took breaks in the shade. I packed a first aid kit. I packed snacks. I packed 2 water bottles. I've like a power bank for my phone, because I had to take a power bank for my phone for every scene, because battery life is quite bad on my phone. It's quite old. I've had it for many years now, but like it just keeps running out of battery. And sadly, I think one shot I did with James where we were rolling for like 10 minutes, I think the battery went out, which was such a pain. But yeah,
I had a brother.
What a shame. He had a brother. What the hell? Sorry, I don't know what to say over this. This is just hard. This is just hard to watch. This is why I haven't watched it in its entirety again, because it's just quite painful to watch. But that's what they say about The Room, guys. I really am Tommy Wiseau / Neil Breen. Hashtag Fateful Findings. I don't know. Fateful Findings is such a banging film, and if you tell me otherwise, then I'm just gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. That's fact, guys. I don't even know if anyone watched this. I'm gonna just put this in the description of the film and just say you can watch the commentary here. Way. But yeah.
I yelled at him. I screamed at him. He was going off to university. Yelling at him, like he just finished his A levels. He was
I think the first person to watch this film in its entirety was Chris, because after I finished it, I made a bunch of DVDs and gave them to everyone who was involved. Also, I didn't think everyone would want a DVD, because I just asked people, thinking like, surely not everyone is going to want one, and then everyone wanted one. I was like, okay, whoops. So I made like 7 DVDs, and so Chris was the first to watch it, and he was like, yeah, it's good, it's a bit long, and I'm like, yeah, it is. I do think maybe some scenes drag on a bit longer than they should have. Yeah, that's the only shot. That's the only shot inside, and with artificial light. That shot looks really grainy and horrible. Obviously because that's at night and there's no artificial light being used. But I liked how intentionally grainy it looked, and that was filmed very, very near the start as well. It was just one nice summer's evening, and because the days are so long, that was like 10 at night or something.
I could have
and
done something.
and yeah, and the raw footage looked so horrible. It was just like really dark, but then I kind of really pushed up the curves and like the saturation to make it super grainy. And but I think, I don't know, so I put some screen grabs from the film on a cinematography subreddit. I think it's r/cinematography for kind of feedback, and there, I mean, I got loads of comments. 35,000 people saw it, which was insane. But anyways, loads of lovely people gave comments. Some people said, yeah, it just looks a bit grainy and horrible, which I understand, because it
And that was a year ago.
yeah,
And
what a shame.
Still don't feel better.
So, bruv,
Cried once.
Blood doesn't feel better because he
At his funeral.
barely faces up to this immense loss that he's felt. Like he acknowledges it at the funeral, but then he shuts everyone out of his life, and he does homeschooling. So he's like in his room, just on the computer, doing homeschool for a year,
So I want to get out.
and now he's going to college,
Everything.
and it's not a good place to be in. And I kind of wanted to make sure that Noah's character isn't perfect, because no one is, but I wanted to kind of make it like, you know, it is partly his fault why he's feeling like this, is because he hasn't dealt with emotions, but also another part of it is not many people have allowed him to open up. I don't know if his family has been supportive, or he's just kind of imposed this victim mindset upon himself that, you know, nothing will get better and he'll always feel like this. And yeah, I don't know, it's hard to say. Yeah, I tried keyword tried to give all of the characters some kind of nuance and complexity, and all my friends really played the characters so well. And again, I love how in this shot, just it's the sky it's bright blue, as you can see in other shots, but because it's focused on Owen, everything else is just so overexposed, and it looks like we're in heaven itself. It's crazy. Also, I think I cut a bit out of this scene where I sit down and I'm like really disoriented and my vision kind of zooms out, and I did this whole visual effect and everything, but I thought it just kind of looked a bit corny, so I cut it out. But it's based on real experiences where I've gotten home from very long walks, and I sit down and then my vision zooms out. But I think it's just because, you know, I don't drink enough water on my walks, So, but then when I look, everything is just zoomed out and it looks really weird for a few seconds. So I wanted to have that in there, but I don't know. I just thought it was a bit cringe, a little bit cringe. So I decided not to keep it in.
You listen to me. You talk it out.
But yeah, Owen was amazing in the scene. I mean, my family really. I mean, they didn't enjoy the scene because it's, you know, you're not really supposed to enjoy it. So I suppose that's a good thing. But they really loved Owen's performance. I think it's fantastic because it's. I mean, my friends just being in it. That obviously they're performing a bit because they have to alter some parts of their lives, you know. But at the end of the day, it is just a friend listening to another friend, which is just so lovely. And Owen really did such a fantastic job in this scene.
Yeah, if you just get onto a main road.
Also, I was talking earlier about how we didn't have any disturbances while doing this scene. While filming. Well, this was the only time we did have some issues. Okay, so when we were filming, there was this little boy. There was eventually two little boys. Like, they can't have been older than 10, and they were on these like dirt bikes. They were literally on dirt bikes. Well, not on a dirt bike. This bright neon green dirt bike, and they were just speeding around. You know, these crop fields that we were filming by, and you can hear them in the background of some shots. You can just hear the zzz, like in the background of some shots. And I think the next shot after this, they pulled up to us and they started being horrible to us. And I replaced the audio here, but in this shot here where I'm walking up and I look into the distance. I'm actually looking at these boys pulling up to us, and they were actually horrible to us. They were just, you know, messing around with us, and I would have said, you know, just pissed off, you know, little chillers in it. But because they had this big, you know, dirt bike, I felt a bit intimidated. So we just kind of were very nonchalant and boring until they went away. But thankfully, we didn't have any other negative experiences while filming, which, considering how many places I've filmed in, very lucky. I mean, that's been the worst, but there hasn't been any other bad ones. So, sorry, just sniffling quite a lot. This cold is quite bad. So yeah, this is another completely different place. And this is on this 4.5 mile hike that I was talking about earlier, and so I did walk all the way here to this specific spot, and this tractor was just right there, and I was like, oh, I have to get a shot of this. I kind of just left it running, and yeah, the tractor was just perfectly there. So yeah, so this is all just on this hike, and then the bit after, and see, this shot is very, very saturated blue and green, and this is further into the hike with this little bridge, and I knew I wanted to do a scene here to kind of, and this is kind of I mean, that scene is kind of like a repeat of the scene before. I'm just moping around being quite sad, but the difference is obviously you know why he's sad now. And it kind of adds a new dimension to it. I tried to have that kind of, I don't know. But yeah, I just tried to have a lot of really calming, nice shots of the trees, and because there's so many lovely places, and I really don't take it for granted that I live near so many lovely spots, because, you know, not everyone can say that. A lot of people live in very built up areas where there's just concrete over everything. So, my goodness, I love Blighty. I love the Blighty countryside. So, I don't know, guys, I don't know if you can tell, but this baby is actually not here in the scene. I know, Callum, the master of sound effects, has done it again. The baby is not here. It's amazing, guys. I know. So this, so my friends have seen this scene. Well, the people who have seen this, except my family, have just laughed at this. It's not supposed to be funny, but I can see how you would find it funny. Just a distorted baby crying. But it's supposed to be, it's based on my own personal experience of when you're at a particularly low point. I found that, yeah, stuff like babies crying or dogs barking have been particularly distressful, and that was based on a very specific time when one time the baby crying got so intense that I had to physically leave because it was so, I don't know, it's weird. Maybe I just need to grow up. I don't know, but I just wanted to kind of tap into that. And this is another completely different place. Woohoo! And yeah, so this is the very last thing that we shot. We filmed the last scene a bit earlier on. But yeah, this is just me and Chris doing the funny. And Chris is not in any trailers. He's in some, I put out some YouTube shorts, I think he's in a couple. But I wanted to kind of keep this character a kind of a secret. Because I wanted to have the shot of Noah walking away in the cornfield kind of like a fake ending where it's like, okay, he's kind of going home now, but he hasn't properly faced up to how he's feeling yet. And that is why the breakdown at the end of this scene at the end of this film is so important, because Noah finally breaks the dam to kind of start to feel better. And and I wanted it to be a cool subversion where it's like all of the other characters are complete strangers, but obviously he knows this person, so it's a different exchange.
I heard what happened. My mum and the school told me, and I just wanted to say we're all.
And it's a difficult. It's a difficult scene because this character, you know, they were genuinely really good mates in school, but because Noah has completely cut him off, it's like, you didn't have to cut me off, and it's like, you know, and now he's telling him that he's moving away, and he would have moved away without telling this character, and it's like, why would Noah do that? That is, you know, that's not a good thing to do, to cut out any friends who are just trying to offer their support. But an argument could be made that maybe Chris's character didn't offer enough support to and again, this kind of faux empathy. It's sympathy. It's not empathy, because it's not, you don't really know how people are feeling, especially with something like this. So it's like, you know, and then I really wanted it to be this kind of horrible turn of events where it's like they're supportive and they want to help, but why didn't they get talked to? And then it just turns into a more alarming turn of feelings, where it's suddenly like, did I do something to you? Was it my fault? Why would it be my fault? And then it just blows up into anger at the end. So it kind of, so I kind of color coded these clips of like neutral and wanting to help, and then orange, which is like needing to help with an undercut of malice, and then this, which is just like outwardly, you know, venomous. So I tried to sort of cut them together to have a kind of alarming build-up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why Chris shoved me. That we did not plan that. He just shoved me, and I was a bit surprised. I was a bit taken aback. I was a bit flabbergasted, one might say. But yeah, we had to have regular breaks because it was just really, really hot, and I think that does add to the intensity of the scene, because it was really hot, and people kept going past. No, I mean not like not like people didn't keep going past, but there were a fair few dog walkers and stuff. So we really wanted to make sure everyone was like thoroughly out of the way before we resumed, because it's a lot of yelling and whatnot. So we did a few variations of this kind of exchange, and yeah, the idea is that Noah is now running home like the little piggy he is. Blood thought it was okay to step outside a day. So yeah, this was so hard to film physically and mentally because I'm going down this hill. And I'm going down this hill, and I'm swearing and I'm screaming. And I make these kind of animal sounds as I'm screaming down the hill. And again, this is all just real emotions, this is just real pain. And I actually started crying because it was just really hard to film. And I had to calm down for a bit before we did a take 2, because we needed to do several takes for that bit. But I needed to calm down before we could start again because it was just so intense. But yeah, Chris did such a great job. And I was trying to explain to his parents, like, this is not Mission Probable, this is very different, because they'd seen Mission Probable. And Chris's parents are awesome. They love the videos we made together. So yeah, this scene was filmed a lot earlier because I just wanted to get out of the way because it's really challenging. And this was filmed on a Saturday or Sunday. It was a weekend day, and I'd spent the entire day just making myself absolutely miserable. I listened to all the sad songs I could find. I spent the entire day on the screen, so you know, that's pretty much a recipe for feeling terrible. And yeah, and I just made myself feel like crap the whole day, and then I went out and filmed this. And perfectly, it was raining, which was just like, and with the last scene it was raining, so which is just amazing because it's supposed to be, I mean, that was not intentional, but I love how that turned out because it's like a reverse pathetic fallacy where when feelings are not very good, everything is sunny and like bright and happy and everything will be fine. But when you're feeling real honest pain, the weather is bad, which I just love how that turned out. And this was so hard to do. I think I did 2 takes of me crying, which it's real crying, it's not fake, because I'm not a psychopath again. That is all just very real pain. And the shots that cuts to the ultra macro shots of like the grass and leaves, that was done with like this clip-on lens, and that's supposed to reflect how when you're like crying and you got your face buried in whatever it is, you know, all you can focus on is just those small textures and those very small details, because that's all you care about at the time. All you care about is your pain. And Jesus Christ, this is such a heavy film. Oh, but yeah, that's what that's supposed to mean. And then when he gets up, you know, he sees the grass and the sky. So his perspective widens. Yes, look at that greasy, unwashed hair. Wash your hair, bruv. Get in the shower. What is... Yeah, so that shot is... Like, yeah, so his perspective has been widened. And yeah, and this kind of little spot I managed to get myself in, I tried to have it really out of the way. This is in the first field. And, the same... Very near where we shot Mission Improbable. And yeah, I tried to get really out of the way of people because this was going to be a really hard thing to shoot. But yeah, also it was so wet as well. Like my you can kind of see my jeans are like really, really soaking wet. So yeah, and now it's time to walk home. and that, yeah, like I said before, he's kind of broken the dam now. He's kind of finally let out the feelings that he needs to let out, and now he can, obviously he's not magically fine again, but he is finally taken the first step to be okay, because like he's probably cried quite a lot at the funeral, but you know, if he hasn't cried since, then if he truly breaks down and breaks this dam of emotion, then yeah, there you go. That's kind of what that's supposed to be. And Tristan filmed this. Tristan was great, filming across this bridge. And the difference is supposed to be, now you're up on this bridge with him, you can see that he's not too phased by these cars, but before he's I don't know if, I hope it was clear that in the scene where he's on the bridge before, he's running because of the cars, because his brother dies in a car crash. But in this scene, it's supposed to be like, okay, he's okay with this. He recognizes that it still hurts him. You know, these sort of trigger signs, these little triggers of bringing the trauma back. But yeah, it was so horrible. It started storming and pouring it down. It was an absolutely horrible day, but very appropriate. Tristan did an amazing job. We sheltered under a tree, I think, at one point, because the storm was actually so horrible, but you can see this is much later on now, because there's like daisies growing. I mean, oxeye daisies. But yeah, and see, this is the final shot. This is like a portrait. It's supposed to be, so like you kind of know him now. I don't know. So yeah, that's it. That is it. I know. It's so sad. Oh, off he goes. Blood thought it was okay to step outside. What a mistake. And I wanted to make sure as well, mine and Chris's characters, they don't get back together and friends, because it's not always how it goes in real life. You know, you can't always make up with everyone. And you know, oh well, what a sad day. But now, you know, Mr. Noah can oh my god, my cold. Sorry. It's really tedious. So but yeah, that's it. I'm so proud of this. I'm so proud of this film. Yeah, it was really hard, but I'm so proud of it. The little crayon titles, I had an idea for that when me and my dad were having a cheeky Five Guys together. That's right. We were eating Five Guys, and in the Five Guys there was a clipboard with crayon drawings on it, so I got some crayons and some paper, and I just drew these credits out, you know, cast, pre-production, post-production, and then I scanned it, and then kind of, I think I just inverted the image, like, to make it black background, and then I changed the colours, and there you go. So yeah, that's why it's crayon, and that's just my goofy handwriting. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of the soundtrack as well. Soundtrack took quite a while. This piece is like a mishmash of like 3 different pieces I made, like the piano do 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 do, and then the violins is the strings. That's like a different track, and then yeah. Thank you for watching. That's what I put at the end of each of my videos. That's kind of a thing. Like my first ever video I made when I was 6 years old, I put "thank you for watching" at the end of it, because why not? You have to respect your audience. No, I don't want to watch the Papas. It's just recommended me the Papas. Who wants to see that? XD. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the director's commentary of Last August. I really appreciate you spending this very painful 1 hour 19 minutes with me. And yeah, see ya. Bye.